Hello. Give it a quick second to see if anybody hops on live. I'm doing a quick impromptu live today. So happy Friday. And the reason I wanted to hop on was I've been giving it a fair bit of thought lately. And today I was sitting here thinking about this in regards to when I first got started with the oils. And in fact, not just when I first got started, but even before that, even before I got started, when I was first introduced to the oils, when I first had heard about the oils. I've been thinking a lot about that time and trying to put myself back there because sometimes it's hard. And I'm sure you guys have experienced this with other things in your life. It's hard, fast forward 6 years later, they are such a part of our life. We have experienced so many benefits and we've seen it solve so many solutions in our home and we've had so many amazing experiences with these oils that at this stage where I'm at, it's really hard to go back to where I was when I first heard about the oils, right? So I've been thinking a lot about that because we've got a few new people. We've got some people that I know have been considering getting started with the oils but haven't quite yet. And so I've been trying to put myself back into that position and trying to remember, okay, how did I feel when I first heard about the oils? And I've shared this with you guys before. I was, funny enough, I was extremely skeptical. And if I'm being really honest, a little judgmental about it, to be completely honest. Judgmental mostly, I guess, about the network marketing side because I didn't know anything about that. And so I think back to that and I'm like, yes, okay, I have to remember you don't know what you don't know. And when people first hear about the oils, I can't expect them to be at the place that I'm at with it, right? And so sometimes, again, if I'm being completely honest, I catch myself, like today, getting a little frustrated because I'm like, like from my viewpoint, I'm like, man, I know these oils can support you. I know they can help you and your family. Like I see certain situations or I'm chatting with certain people and I'm just like, I just know they can help you. Please be open-minded. Please try them. Please give them a chance. Um, and I have to stop myself because again, it's not fair for me to be getting frustrated. I'm like, okay, remember what it was like to get started. So I was thinking a lot about that today, and I'm like, okay, what was it when 6 years ago when I first heard about the oils? What got me to open my mind a little bit more? What got me to take that next step with the oils? Because, like I said, I was not interested. I was super skeptical and even a little bit judgmental about it. And so I was thinking about that. I was like, okay, I know there's three things that come right to the top of my mind that got me to kind of open my mind and take that next step. The first, hands down, and so I wanted to share that with you guys, depending where you're at in your journey, right? I wanted to share that for the people in this group that um, are maybe on the fence and just thinking about getting started or are curious about the oils. Or maybe you are, someone added you to this group and you're feeling a little bit skeptical about it. Whatever it might be, whoever you are watching this, I wanted to share with you the three things that kind of got me to take that next step. And the first, by far, was actually experiencing the oils. So finally taking the cap off the samples that my amazing sister-in-law shared with me and actually experiencing the oils and not just like using them once and being like, oh, they don't work. Actually taking the time and saying, okay, what do I got to lose? And I was at a point where I was sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, like literally tired. I'm constantly getting sick with the two young kids, 1 and 3 years of age, and in daycare and all that jazz. And I was like, well, what do I have to lose? Okay, maybe I should actually give these a go. So having those samples and actually having the experiences was a huge aha for me. So I share that because that's why I'm so passionate about giving people samples. I'm really passionate about sharing the oils with people so that they can experience them, and then you can decide for yourself. If you decide they're not for you, then that's totally, it's an informed decision at that point. But actually giving it a go, actually taking the time with the samples, dedicating even just a week to be like, okay, let me give these a go and see what happens. Some of them I noticed results immediately. Some of it took a little bit of time, and other oils maybe didn't quite have the same impact. So it's a little bit of trial and error in the beginning, but by far one of the biggest reasons why I took that next step in wanting to learn more was I had some really amazing experiences with basically one of my samples, which was Breathe at the time. And so that piqued my interest. The two other things that I just wanted to quickly share are a little bit more specific, and this is actually something I teach in my classes that I teach. But I like the science aspect of things, and for me, it was really hard to use a product where I had really didn't understand why they worked or how they worked. So I want to share just two little things with you guys that really made a big difference for me. The first is that, don't underestimate the power of just simply smelling an oil. So that's what we call aromatic use, whether it's taking the cap off and smelling it or putting it in a diffuser. Don't underestimate that. And one of the examples that was shared with me and I now share in my class was when you go in for a surgery and you're being put under, the doctors don't give you a needle or a pill. They put a mask on you. You breathe in that synthetic compound, and within less than 10 seconds, you're put out, right? And it's that powerful. That's because you have something called an olfactory nerve sitting right up here. And when you smell something in, whether it's a synthetic compound or a natural compound, it triggers that olfactory nerve and it sends a message to your limbic system. And that limbic system is where your emotions and your memories are stored, but it also has that ability to send out a message to your entire body very, very quickly. That's why essential oils can be so powerful by just simply using them aromatically. So I like to share that because I remember the first time I heard that, I'm like, oh yeah, okay. That makes sense. That's why they can also be so powerful from an emotional standpoint as well. So that was one of the cool things that I remember learning about, and it always stuck with me because I was like, okay, there's a bit of science behind this. That's interesting that, okay, I can think of these now as more than just, oh, they're making my house smell pretty. There's actually something happening behind the scenes, so to speak. Then the other thing that I teach in classes, so kind of the third thing that was really an aha moment for me before I got started with the oils was, again, kind of into the science side of things, was I heard someone in a class talking about how the oils are oftentimes more effective than some modern approaches and modern medications. And I kind of thought, okay, I need to know a little bit more about that. And the example they used, very biology 101, but the example they used was our body's made up of millions and trillions of cells, and those cells have a cell membrane that are covered by this oily kind of cell membrane. And that the purpose of that is to protect your cell, right? And when you are suffering from like a bacterial issue, the bacteria sits on the outside of the cell. When you're suffering from like a viral issue or a virus, that sits on the inside of the cell. It's actually duplicating the DNA on the inside of the cell. Okay, so bacteria on the outside, a virus on the inside of your cell. And we've all experienced this. If you go to the doctor and you have a bacterial issue, they will prescribe you an antibiotic. And oftentimes it works quite well, but it comes with its pros and cons, right? It's wiping out your good and your bad bacteria, et cetera, et cetera. So you have to keep that in mind. The thing though, if you go to the doctor, and again, we've all experienced this, man, I remember this when the kids were young, you go to the doctor and you're like, please give me something to help these children. I need to get back to work. And the doctor would say, sorry, it's a viral thing. It always seemed to be a viral thing. They just need to go home, sleep, rest, drink lots of water. There's nothing we can do because a synthetic medication or an antibiotic is water-based and it cannot penetrate that cell membrane. So there's no point in taking anything. The cool thing about essential oils, doTERRA essential oils, and specifically oils like On Guard, which is our protective and immune blend, it has the ability to penetrate that cell membrane, no problem. So it has the ability to get in there and help support that cell from an internal perspective. So absolutely it has the ability to support outside from if you're suffering with some sort of bacterial issue. It's very helpful with that. However, it can also penetrate that cell membrane and work within the cell to keep that cell really, really healthy. So whether you're proactively using it to keep your immune system up or whether you're reaching for it when you start to come down with something, it is very effective, and it's more effective than synthetic medications. So for me, that was another, because On Guard was one of the first oils I started to use, and I couldn't believe how much healthier we were that winter. Like we didn't come down with hardly anything. And I just was like, I don't understand how this works. And now that I have, as soon as I had, so that was the first winter I used the oils. So I had my experience. I knew, I'm like, well, somehow these are working. I don't know. Is this a placebo thing or what's happening? Um, and so I had that experience. But then once I kind of got a little bit of that science, a little bit of that why and how, that was it for me. And that's really, I mean, I could name a million other reasons why. I mean, the integrity of the company, the transparency, the quality, that was all super important to me as well. But that really, those things kind of triggered me to be like, I need to learn more about this. And then it kind of, from there it went, full blown, full blown obsession. So anyways, I just wanted to share that. It was kind of on my heart at this point, because I've just been thinking about what it was like to be new again and kind of forgetting, to be honest. So trying to keep it real over here. And hey, Shelby Dawn, do you just diffuse the On Guard or take them in capsules? We do all three. We use them aromatically, topically, and internally. So I diffuse the On Guard almost every day when the kids come home from school. It's always diffusing. So that's helping keep germs at bay. It's cleansing the air, and that's going to help, you're still breathing it in and having access to that. So you can diffuse it. So that's super important. Also topically, especially this time of year, I would highly recommend diluting it into a roller bottle, or you can buy it in the roller bottle already, and swiping it on the bottoms of your feet or the back of your spine every day. And that's what we do every single morning. The kids have a health station. They take their On Guard, they swipe it on their back, they grab it and they swipe it on their sister's back. And they do that every single day, along with me diffusing in the evenings. On Guard. And then I take the On Guard capsules. I'm trying to see if I have them here for you to show you. I don't think. Oh, I do. These are amazing. Okay, I'm going off topic a little bit. These On Guard capsules, I think every single house should have one. It should have this right now. If I was, a millionaire, I'd drop this off at everybody's doorstep if I could. So I take these internally, not every day, but I take these if I feel like I've been exposed to something, if I'm feeling run down, if I just need, that little extra, or if I start to feel like I'm getting something like a tickle in the throat or something, then I'll take these for a couple days. Really powerful. But these also have things like black pepper in it and oregano. So the other thing you can do is you can just literally do a drop of On Guard in your water, and you can gargle with that. If you have a sore throat, you can take that internally, but that wouldn't necessarily be something I would do daily. The internal thing would be more as needed, but daily topical, daily aromatic, especially this time of year. So sorry, long answer, but hopefully that answers your question, Shelby Dawn. Thanks, Megan. I love them. And that's why it's hard to go back and remember. And that's why sometimes I find myself getting frustrated and not like, not super frustrated. I stop myself, but I'm just like, I know these can help you. Like, please let me help you. And yeah, so I have to remind myself, I'm like, remember how skeptical you were and how like kind of mean you were about the oils? It's true. And actually, Megan, remember how skeptical you were. That's the first thing you said to me when we chatted on the phone. Anyways, I love it. I know it's magic. It is. And there is now the science to back it up, which is cool. In the beginning, it was kind of like, whoa, this is really working. But, there's bits and pieces that we knew why, but not completely. And now there's more and more research and sciences that's backing up the On Guard. So pretty cool. All right, guys. Anybody have any other questions? By all means, feel free to ask, and I can always come back and answer them. And yeah, I just wanted to hop on because that was something I was thinking about. It was kind of on my heart and wanted to share with anybody, that's thinking about getting started. And Megan and Shelby Dawn, if you're still listening, comment quickly below, or if you watch this and you're somebody that uses the oils, what was that turning point for you? Like, what was the aha moment? What was it kind of like, okay, I want to learn more about this? Or maybe you were just more open than me in the beginning. But anyways, I would love to know that. So comment, if you catch the recording, comment for those that are using the oils lots. I would love to hear that. Okay. Happy Friday, guys. Enjoy, and I hope you have a lovely weekend. Bye.